In 1930, the BBC transmitted the first television play ever, and it was called The Man with the Flower in His Mouth. And thanks to a great deal of cooperation and help from the BBC, the producer, Lance Siefking, and the Inner London Education Authority, we are now able to present excerpts from The Man with the Flower in His Mouth, just as it was seen in 1930.
An avenue lined with trees, electric lights gleaming through the foliage. Among the houses to the left, a miserable all-night cafe with tables and chairs on the pavement. In front of the houses on the left, a dim lamppost. It is not long after midnight. Faintly from a distance, there comes the sound of a departing train. The man with the flower in his mouth is seated at one of the tables, silently observing the customer, who, at a neighboring table, is sipping a mint frappe through a straw.
Ah, so you missed your train?
Yes, I got to the station and there it was, just pulling out.
You might have caught it by running.
I suppose I might. It's absurd, I know. If I hadn't been all cluttered up with all those packages, a dozen, more or less, I'd have caught it. Why, it took me 3 minutes after I got out of my taxi to get my fingers through the strings of all those packages. Oh. 2 to every finger.
I should like to have seen you. You know what I would have done?
Oh,
I would have left the damn things in the carriage.
Oh. And when you got home, how about the old woman and my girls? Not to mention the neighbors.
Oh, let them yap. I would have enjoyed it. I would.
But you don't know what it's like to be on holiday in the country with a bunch of women.
I think I do. In fact, I do.
And the worst of it is that in my hurry to get away, I left the keys of my house in town at home.
Oh. And so?
And so I left that pile of parcels in the cloakroom at the station. And then I went to dinner in a restaurant.
Yes.
And then to the theater. Mm-hmm. Hot? Poof! Hot isn't the word for it. On coming out, I said to myself, what next? Midnight, and the next train leaves at 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. Just 3 hours left for a nap. Mm-hmm. No, not worth the money. So here I am. This place doesn't close, I hope.
Oh, no, never closes, this place.
Yeah.
So you left your parcels at the station?
Oh, why not? Safe, aren't they? All pretty well tied up.
I say, do you see that woman? Ah, she's gone.
A woman? Where?
Yes, didn't you see her? She's gone now.
A woman?
Yes, my wife.
Oh, your wife?
Yes. She keeps her eye on me. Sometimes I feel like getting up and kicking her. But what good was that do, after all? She's like one of those stray dogs you take into the house. Obstinate. The more you kick her and beat her, the closer she follows on your heels. And the things that woman's going through on my account, sir, you'd never imagine. She hardly ever eats. She scarcely ever goes to bed. She just follows me around day and night on my heels, just like that, at a distance. I really wish she'd take more attention over her appearance. I'm barely 34. Sometimes I get so mad, you could hardly believe it, sir. I feel like going up and shouting in her face, "Idiot! Idiot!" And I give her a shaking. Look, there she is again. See her? Do you see her?
Poor thing.
poor thing. Do you know what she would have me do? She'd have me sit quietly and comfortably at home so she can cuddle me and humor me with the tenderest and affectionate attentions. Every room neat and tidy, every stick of furniture in its place and varnished, clean and polished. Silence. Deadly silence. Broken only by the tick-tock of the grandfather clock in our dining room. That's her notion of life. Well, I leave it to you, sir.
But perhaps your wife is not so completely...
Look here, sir. Let me show you something. Here, under my moustache. Look at this spot.
Ugh.
A pretty violet color, isn't it? Do you know what it is? Do you know its name? It has a very pretty name, rather like the verse of a poem. Epithelioma. Epithelioma. Say it yourself, sir, and see how nice it is. Epithelioma. But death. You understand? Death. Death has passed my way and put this flower in my mouth. Here you are, sir. A souvenir. Keep it. No charge. I'll be back again a few months hence. Now tell me, sir, whether with this flower in my mouth I can sit quietly at home as this woman would have me do. Yes, yes, I scream at her. You'd like to kiss me, wouldn't you? Yes, yes. Kiss me, she says. Do you know what she did the other day? She took a pin and she scratched her lip and she tried to kiss me here. Kiss me on my lip because she said she wanted to die with me. Crazy woman. But I won't remain at home. I must go out and look into the shop windows and admire the deftness of the assistants at their counters. Because if I was to give my imagination one moment's rest, I might go mad. I might pull out a revolver and shoot somebody who never did me the least bit of harm. Why, I might shoot you, sir. And all you've done wrong is to have missed your train. But don't be afraid. I was only joking. Well, I must be going. The very worst I might do is to kill myself. But you see, this is the fruit season, and I'm so fond of apricots. How do you eat them?
Well,
Skin and all?
Yes.
You cut them in halves and you squeeze them between your fingers and you suck in the juice. Ah, yes, that's the way. Oh, they're good, aren't they? Give my regards to your wife and daughters. I can imagine them in white and blue, sitting in the green grass in the shade of a tree. Do something for me tomorrow, will you? I suppose your cottage is some way from the station. You'll get there about sunrise. You'll enjoy walking from the station. Well, the first tuft of grass you notice by the roadside, just count the blades for me. The number of blades of grass in that tuft will be the number of days I still have to live. Choose a good-sized clump, if you please, eh? Good night. Good night. La, da, da, da.